The Zephyrian War Council had spent 3 cycles debating the inevitable. Humanity, they concluded, was a plague upon the galaxy, a species that expanded too quickly, consumed too voraciously, and fought too fiercely. Their crude ships violated the elegant principles of civilized warfare, and their reckless terraforming threatened the delicate balance the elder races had maintained for millennia. Fleet Commander Vex Thara gazed through the crystalline viewport of the flagship Eternal Harmony at the approaching human colony world of New Geneva. Intelligence suggested it was lightly defended, perhaps a dozen patrol vessels and a single orbital defense platform. The humans had been in space for barely 2 centuries. What could these primitive creatures possibly field against the combined might of 17 elder species? "Commander," his tactical officer reported, mandibles clicking nervously. "Our scouts confirm minimal human presence. 1 defense station, 14 small craft. No capital ships detected." Vexathara's 4 eyes glowed with satisfaction. The coalition fleet behind him consisted of 300 vessels, dreadnoughts that had fought in the Andromeda campaigns, cruisers blessed by the ethereal conclave, and fighter squadrons piloted by warriors bred for combat across 10 generations. "Signal all ships," Vexathara commanded. "Begin the cleansing protocol. Show these humans the price of their arrogance." The first wave of plasma torpedoes streaked toward the orbital platform, brilliant streams of superheated matter designed to crack planets. The human station, a clunky, industrial-looking construct of steel and ceramic, simply absorbed the impacts. Its shields flickered once, then stabilized. Vexathara's confidence wavered slightly. "Increase firepower to 60%. The second barrage was twice as intense. This time, the human platform didn't even flicker. Instead, something impossible happened. It began to move. Not the graceful, predictable arc of standard orbital mechanics, but sharp, angular movements that defied physics. The station rotated 90 degrees in seconds, presenting what appeared to be weapon ports. "Commander," the tactical officer's voice had risen an octave. "That's not a defense platform. It's transforming." What they had mistaken for, an orbital platform unfolded like an origami puzzle designed by a madman. Armor plating shifted and reconfigured. Weapon systems extended from hidden compartments. The structure grew, expanding outward until it dwarfed their largest dreadnought. In 30 seconds, the defense platform had become something else entirely. A mobile fortress bristling with weapons technology the Zephyrians couldn't even identify. The human patrol ships began their own transformation. Each vessel split, apart into component units, fighters, bombers, support craft, that recombined in fluid formations. What had appeared to be 14 ships became 70, then 140, each unit operating with perfect coordination. "Impossible," Vexthara whispered. "No species masters transformative technology to this degree." The human fortress fired once. A single beam of coherent energy, not plasma, not particle projection, but something that bent space itself, lanced through the void. It struck the Coalition's lead dreadnought, the pride of Altair, and the massive vessel simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, not exploded, erased, as if it had never been there. The human fighters swarmed forward, moving in patterns that violated everything the Coalition understood about physics. They didn't accelerate. They simply appeared in new positions, as if teleporting. Each fighter was impossibly small, no larger than a single-person craft, yet their weapons carved through the Coalition's heaviest armor like tissue paper. Vexathara's own ship shuddered as something impacted their port side. Through the viewport, he saw a human fighter, a sleek, angular craft that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. The pilot was visible through a transparent canopy, a young human female with determination etched across her features. "How?" Vexathara demanded of his officers. "How do they move like that? How do they reconfigure matter at will?" His science. Officer, a crystalline being from the resonance cluster, spoke in harmonics of disbelief. "Commander, they appear to be using programmable matter, technology we theorized but never achieved. Their ships aren't built. They're grown, evolved. Each vessel can become anything required by the situation." The battle, if it could be called that, lasted 17 minutes. Of the 300 vessels in the Coalition fleet, only Vexathara's flagship remained. The humans had systematically disabled rather than destroyed most ships, demonstrating a precision that bordered on the supernatural. The human fortress moved closer, and a communication channel opened. A middle-aged human male appeared on the screen, wearing a simple blue uniform with no elaborate decorations, a stark contrast to Vexathara's ceremonial battle armor. "This is Admiral Chen of the Terran Defense Force," the human said calmly. "Your fleet has committed an act of aggression against a peaceful human colony. However, we understand this may have been based on incomplete information about human capabilities." Vexathara found his voice. "How? Your species has been in space for barely 2 centuries. This technology is the result of necessity." "Admiral," Chen replied. "You see, Commander, humans have spent our entire history fighting each other. We've had to become very good at adapting, at turning peaceful tools into weapons, at surviving against impossible odds. When we finally made it to space, we brought those skills with us." He gestured, and the screen showed images of human worlds, not the primitive colonies the Coalition had expected, but thriving civilizations where cities reconfigured themselves, based on need, where every building could become a fortress, every civilian craft a weapon. "We learned early that the universe might not be friendly," Chen continued. "So we prepared. Every human world has defenses you never detected because they're built into the infrastructure itself. Every ship is designed to transform based on threat assessment. Every human citizen receives basic military training." Vexathara's tactical officer was monitoring the human fleet. "Commander, I'm reading hundreds of additional ships approaching. They're emerging from what we thought were asteroids, space debris, even the planet's moon." Admiral Chen smiled grimly. "We've been watching your coalition's build-up for months, Commander. We hoped diplomacy might work, but we prepared for this outcome. Your intelligence was correct about one thing. Humanity does expand aggressively, but you misunderstood why. We don't conquer because we're warlike. We spread because we've learned that survival requires redundancy, adaptation, and the ability to defend what we've built." The Admiral leaned forward. "You're free to go, Commander. Return to your worlds and tell them what you've seen here. Tell them that humanity offers friendship to those who approach in peace, but we've spent our entire evolutionary history preparing for those who don't." As Vexathara's damaged flagship limped away from New Geneva, he realized the Coalition had made a fundamental error. They had assumed that because humans were young and crude, they were weak. Instead, humanity's youth had made them adaptable. Their crudeness had made them pragmatic. Their short history of constant warfare had made them devastatingly effective. The elder races had spent millennia perfecting the art of civilized conflict, formal battles with rules and honor. Humanity had perfected the art of survival by any means necessary, with whatever tools were available, transforming peaceful technology into instruments of war in the space of heartbeats. Behind them, the human fortress was already reconfiguring itself back into an orbital platform, as if the most advanced military engagement in galactic history had been nothing more than a training exercise. The Coalition had attacked first, expecting an easy victory over primitive humans. Instead, they had learned that in the vast universe, there was young and there was weak. Humanity was only one of those things,